Thank
All
you.
right. Yeah. So, like I was saying, I think this will be beneficial for you from the standpoint that you're in financial services, and
Right.
like I talk to a lot of people who are financial advisors, things like that, and
Mhm.
it kind of baffles me that I don't want to talk about crypto. I don't want to talk about, but the whole financial landscape is changing.
Trust
So
me.
if you don't know about this stuff and you don't know how to guide clients in this
Hmm.
way, they will find somebody who can. So
Right. And
I
that's
think
why I want to be a cut above the rest
right,
because as I expressed to you my concern and the limitations where that is concerned here in Jamaica.
right, right.
Hmm.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna give you one of the tools that I use, and basically just understanding what the timing is, right? So
Right.
first thing we think about is let me share this. I wish I had my thing up because I could show you better. But
Okay.
um so first thing we're gonna go to is coin market cap. Are you familiar with that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So you seen me do this before?
Knowing them. Mm-mm.
Okay. So coin market cap, this is your basically your everything crypto.
Right.
You can come here and get all the information that you need. A lot of these indicators up here, like this shows you how many cryptos are in the space, how many exchanges. The current market cap right now of
Hmm.
crypto is 3.2 trillion.
Right.
So you look at that from the standpoint of the forex market at seven to $8 trillion. So it's not too far away from the largest
Right.
market in the world right here.
Hmm. Okay.
And then you look at in the last 24 hours, $94.4 billion came in and out of this market. Right now, currently down 20%. And then this is an important metric right here. So the dominance. So
Mm.
Bitcoin dominance is 59%. Ethereum is 10.2%. So that means out of this $3.2 trillion, Bitcoin makes up 59% of that. Ethereum makes up 10%. So that's about what, 70%? The rest of it are all the other coins in the market. So,
Wow.
so that's what
That's a
that
big dominance.
it is. But the reason why this is important is because we have, we're going into a bull run, and I'll explain that to you in a minute. But
Hmm.
when you see the Bitcoin dominance, typically people go towards the safer bets, right? So when
Hmm.
when when there's trouble or there's down market or whatever the case is, they go to the safer bet. In crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum will be considered the safer bet, right? But when
Okay.
this dominance starts to drop, that
Hmm.
that that means that people are taking profits from these two, right? And then
Hmm.
they're putting those profits into what we call altcoins, other alternative coins other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? Other than
Right.
Bit. So when this starts to drop, that's when the altcoins have their season because it's called capital rotation, right? So I
Okay.
bought Bitcoin low. See, because when Bitcoin dropped down to 16,000, a lot of people bought big money, smart money bought that. And you'll hear me talk about that a lot, smart money, because that's how
Right.
we want to move. We don't want to be exit liquidity and just jump on the trend. We want to move like smart money moves, right? So
Okay.
when they were buying at 16, they were loading up, and that's when Bitcoin dominance was going up, right? But now they got to a point where Bitcoin, it's down now, but let's say Bitcoin gets up to 108,000, which is already hit, or get up to 150,000, right? Those people are going to say, okay, I made my money on this trade. Now it's time for me to take profit, and then let's see what I can put this money in, a lower cap coin, so I can make more profits, right? So that's what you're gonna start to see. So when this starts to drop, then you know that money is being rotated into smaller cap coins. But for us, our job is to be positioned in those smaller cap coins before the liquidity starts to flow there, right? So
Okay.
just understanding the timing of everything, right? They give you the trending coins, like you see, you got XRP, broccoli, all of these are different projects, and we'll go over some of this stuff. But I just want you to see, like, in your banking that you do, what is the highest rate of return that you guys get on any like loan product or anything like that? Savings account, loan product. What's the highest percentage return that you've seen?
Okay, all right. So for structured paper, we have a paper right now that's paying out 6.5%. Um,
Annually?
yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
And that's the US on the US, but that's a structured paper for specialized clients. But regular amount, it's like about 2 point something on the US. On the Jamaican, it's about 4.35.
Okay.
That and the rates of for loans on the US is 13%.
Hmm.
That's for like a bond loan. Regular like equity loan is 16%. Cash secured loan is roughly about 8% on the US and 9% on the Jamaican.
Okay.
So the loans are usually higher than what you actually earn
Yeah.
on earn from the investment or solution.
Right. Right. And that's what I figured. So it's like, so this is what I, and that's again, that's over an annual. That's excuse me, that's over a year. So if you're looking at something like again, and you got to know what you're looking at, what you'll learn. But if you're looking at something like this that did 68%, this is not over a year. This is within 24 hours, right? You're looking at this one that did 757%. That's in 24 hours. That's not over a year's time. So
Right.
when we look at building portfolio and talking about being financial services consultants, whatever you want to call it, this is why what we're doing here in the crypto space is way superior to anything that you can get from a bank, really anything that you can get on the stock market, right? Because this is what when we talked about it in the show the other day. A lot of people are now, especially us, black folks or whatever the case is, are now getting into stocks and all those different things, right? Um, but for me, my mindset is we're their exit liquidity, right? Because we're getting into a time where we're buying at the highs of the market, right? Over all-time highs of the market. That's when we're really starting to get in and put our money in. And what's going to happen is those guys who bought long time ago, who've been in the stock market, they're going to take your money, take that exit liquidity, and then they're going to start putting it into the crypto space because this is the capital rotation. This is where all the profits are, right? So we have to understand that that's what's going on. So what I want us to look at is here. So Bitcoin, right here where it says right here cryptocurrency, and then you go to historical snapshots, right? Because like I said, I tell people I don't need you to believe what I say. You can look it up and do your research. So Bitcoin has an event that happens every 4 years. It's called the halving. Every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that is put into circulation is cut in half. Is cut in half. The supply is cut in half, right? So you understand that there's only 21 million Bitcoin that will ever be in existence, correct? You're on mute if you're talking.
Oh, yes, I do.
Okay. So it's a finite amount. That means there won't be any more. Are you familiar with the halving and how that works?
Not necessarily, but I kind of figure that if it's half, if it's 21 mil, it's going to cut in half, which is about 10.5.
No. So what it is like so I'll go over with you. Let me see. I'll show you the halving cycle. And this is important because Bitcoin is basically the indicator of the market for the crypto market, right?
Okay, that's where it's all started.
Yeah, that's where it all started. So it's like the North Star of the market. So when Bitcoin is up, you can look at the other ones to be up.
Right.
I'm just trying to get a picture here. Can you see that?
Let me see it. It's coming up.
Let's see. Need the chart. Miniature. Okay. So Bitcoin again, how it's built, the protocol again, this is it's a computer program, right?
Right.
So how it's designed and how it's built is built to be deflationary, which means just
Mm,
like Jamaica's dollar is inflationary. That's why you have to have so much to get a dollar, and then
right.
just like the U.S. Every time we print money, our dollar becomes worth less,
Mm,
right? Because it's
mhm,
more and more into circulation. It's more money on the street. Well,
right.
Bitcoin is designed to be the opposite, right? There's only a,
Mm-hmm.
a fixed amount, so you can't just print more. And then every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that is put into circulation is cut in half. So every 10 minutes or every 210 blocks, 50, like back in 2009, 50 Bitcoin will be added to the circulation or put in circulation, right? And
Okay.
then and 2012 was the next halving.
Mm-hmm.
It was 25 every 10 minutes or every 200 blocks. Then it
Okay.
was 12.5. Then it was
6.25.
and then 2024,
Mm-hmm.
April of 2024, it went to 3.1. So every 4 years this happens. But the significance of this is that every time a halving happens, it's followed by
Mm-hmm.
a bull run, right? So
Okay.
so when you look here, the last one that we'll look at, we won't go to April, but we'll look at the previous one in 21, right? So we're gonna go to 2020. It happened in May. It happened May 11th.
Mm-hmm.
May 11th, 2020. That was the last halving, right? So we'll start at May 10th. So I want you to just look at price action, right? And what happens, right? So look at
Right.
what is the price of Bitcoin on that day on May
Eight
10th, 2020.
8,756.43.
All right. So let's just look at how price moves, right? So May 17th, 24th, 30th, we're into June, all right? July, August,
Mm-hmm.
September,
Mm-hmm. See, going up.
hmm October, November. Now we have 15, November, 18,000. So in November. So we went from May, right? May, June, July, August, September, October, November. So that's 6 months. So in six
Mm-hmm.
months, your investment grew $10,000 in 6 months,
Wow.
right? So let's go
Mm-hmm.
to December. So we get into December, we had 19,000,
Mm-hmm.
right? 19,000 in December. That's 7 months, 23,000. So in
Mm-hmm.
7 months, it grew, a little over 10,000, right? We
Right.
had 22,000. So let's get into January. It's eight months. You're at 32,000.
32.
All right. So what is that? 8 months. Within 8 months, your investment grew by $30,000. Right.
Wow.
Then once we get into February, I want you to look what happens in February. February, we got 38,000. First week of
Mm-hmm.
February, we had 38,000. Second week, we had 48,000. Third week, we had 57,000. So every week in
Mm-hmm.
February, it jumped $10,000 per week. So this is the action
Wow.
that really starts to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that right there in February, that last week in February, this was your pullback right here,
Right.
which most people ignored, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
going, it's going, because you get everybody's going to a million, is going to all that, right? Know when to take profit, know when to take profit, right? So March, we get 59,000 in March, 58,000. April it says 60,000, and then this week it spiked up to 69, and then down. That's when the bull run was over in April of 2021. So that's 11
Wow.
months. So in 11 months, it went from 8,000 to 69,000 in 11 months. The only reason I believe that it was cut short was because of COVID, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what
Right.
happened in 21. But
Right.
now we're looking at this just happened in April, right?
Mm-hmm.
of 2024. Now we're in 2025. It's always the year following, right?
Right.
So now we're looking like we're getting ready to move into the next bull phase, right? So that's
Okay.
why it's important to understand where we are in the historical snapshot of everything and how this market typically runs
Right.
after the halving. So we're sitting in the middle of the largest bull run that we'll have because that price action that you just saw, that
Mm-hmm.
happened with no institutional money. This was basically retail investors buying. Now you have BlackRock, Franklin Templeton, JP Morgan, Wells
Mm-hmm.
Fargo, all of these people, Fidelity. Now all of these people are in the game and they're buying crypto, right?
Right.
So when we go to so when we start to look at building our portfolio, we want to get into the coins that give us the most bang for our buck. Again, when I talk to a lot of people, they know about Bitcoin, they know about Ethereum, they know about Doge, right?
Right.
They're starting to hear
And
more about
Shibi.
XR. Say it
Shibi.
again.
Shibi.
Yeah, Shiba, all
Mm-hmm.
of those, right? And most of the reason they know about those is because those have had tremendous runs. People made some money. A lot of people lost a lot of money because they bought at the tops, right?
Right.
But they're not knowing about the true a lot of the true utility coins inside of crypto.com. I mean, inside of crypto. So one thing
Right.
that I want you to write down is ISO 220 22. I'm
Right.
sorry. ISO 222.
Right.
That is a banking protocol for crypto. So these are all the cryptos that have they're designed to seamlessly integrate into the our current fine or the traditional banking system, right?
Right.
So when we look at it from the standpoint, this is the first time that we've had to actually own a piece of the financial infrastructure, right? You
Mm-hmm.
look at XRP. Most people know about XRP, but I don't know if they really understand what XRP is. XRP is the new SWIFT system. It's a global SWIFT system where it's gonna transact and move money around the world in seconds. Now, I want to ask you, you being in banking and finance, if
Yes.
I need to send a wire from
Right.
Jamaica to United States,
You need a Swift code.
you need a SWIFT code. How long will that take for that wire to post in the United States, and what's the cost for that?
Well, it's usually within the day, and the cost of it is $41.50. And then when it gets to the bank, they usually charge probably about 20 or $25. It depends on the bank that you're sending to.
Okay,
But our outgoing fee is $41.50.
$41, and it takes about a
Mm,
day or so, right?
right.
Okay. So now banks will be able to use the XRP ledger.
Mm-hmm.
They can send $1 billion in two
Wow.
seconds,
Mm,
and it costs them about 30 cents.
mm,
So,
wow.
from a banking standpoint, which one do you think they're going to go with?
The XRP?
Absolutely.
Mm,
So, to say that this is a faster, efficient way to send money around the world globally, cross border, and it's a trustless system because right now, if you understand how wires work, you
mm-hmm.
need they call it a trust line, basically. Like
Right.
so I have to have somebody like if I'm in the United States and I'm sending money to Japan, I have to have an institution in Japan that I trust that once
Mm-hmm.
that money gets over there, they're gonna deliver those funds to who they say they're gonna deliver those funds to, right?
Right.
With
Right.
XRP, there is no need for trust. It's on the
Mm,
blockchain and it
yes.
automatically goes to who it's supposed to go to,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Wow.
so so how powerful is that technology, right? And you have the ability to own that technology at $2.71.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So that's what we're dealing with, right? And then I'll tell you again. And I'll tell you this. So XRP, I started buying XRP when it was about 40 cents, right?
Mm,
But
okay.
it's already ran a little bit. But there I've seen estimates, and again, this is not financial advice, but I've seen estimates on XRP, the minimum that I've seen, the lowest number that I've seen on XRP is around $3,500, right? And
Wow.
I've seen estimates as high as 69,000. Because what we have to understand is Bitcoin at one point was $3 too. You know what I
True.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then you gotta say, okay, well, look at Bitcoin and then look at XRP. Which one has more functionality, more liquidity, more all of these different things, the possibility of liquidity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think this is a tremendous asset to own over the long term because this is the infrastructure of our new financial system. So this is
Okay.
why I look at those. And then another thing about XRP is that you look at like things like Solana, BNB, Avalanche, Ethereum, all of these have had during these bull runs that we talk about has had the opportunity to experience a bull run, right?
Mm-hmm.
XRP hasn't had that opportunity yet, right?
Right,
And
right,
then,
right.
and then they also haven't had the opportunity for their ecosystem to
Okay.
experience a bull run, right? Because like like on all of these coins, they have meme coins that come out, they have their top utility coins or whatever on each blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
So as money flows into XRP, people take profit. They're going to start to look down what else is on this blockchain that I can invest in with these profits, right? And this ecosystem haven't had that chance yet. So being able to invest in the ecosystem before people really even understand what it is, I believe that's one of the biggest opportunities that we'll have in this next bull run, right? So, and
Okay.
I'll go into a little bit of that, and I'll show you some of that. But this is definitely one that you want to be paying attention to. And then
Okay.
getting back to ISO 222, there's a list of coins that are in that, and I believe I call those my blue chips. Like if I'm building a portfolio, this is the blue chips that I'm gonna put. Like these are the sure bets, right? Because this is what the banks want.
Right.
So one that I want to point out to you, and this is just how I go about doing my evaluation of projects. Um,
Mm-hmm.
different factors have to align. Where is it at? Going to drop down. Okay. So different factors have to align, right? But so Filecoin is an ISO 222 coin, right? So that's
Oh.
one factor. I know that the banks are already using it. This is gonna be so I know what the technology is, and you can click on them, and then you can read everything that it does, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have I won't go through everything here. But you can look at what is the current market cap. So 2.1 billion dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Value in the last 24 hours, 122 million in the last 24 hours. You see FDV, that's fully diluted value. So that means like when all coins are into circulation, what is the value of this project, right? So it tells you the current circulating supply. So right
Right.
now, this is how much is in circulation. This is the total supply, right? So
Mm-hmm.
1.9 billion coins total, just like Bitcoin has 21 million.
Right.
This one has 1.9 billion. That's the total
Mm-hmm.
supply. And right now,
Okay.
currently about 636 million are in circulation right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that. And then we're traders, so we want to look at our charts. And I always
Right.
go here and I go to all, and then you can look at where we are as it concerns the price, right? So are we at a high or are we at a low?
That's a low.
Low. So that's where we want to be buying at, right? We want to
Mm-hmm.
buy at the lows,
Low. Mm-hmm.
right? And then once we identify that, this is where you find the contract. So if you're adding this to your wallet, this is where
Mm-hmm.
you want to find it. So this is on BNB Smart Chain. This is on
Right.
Hito, and this is on Who Smart Chain. So you just copy that address, and then this is how you add this coin to your wallet when you want to buy, right?
Okay.
And then the last thing that we look at, one of the last things we look at, again, I always say this is in comparison to like a real estate transaction or a real estate scenario. So if I'm buying, if I know houses in this area, are selling for 300,000, and I can get
Mm-hmm.
it for 100,000, I know that I got what I have $200,000 of equity in this property, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I look at these the same way. So if we look at Filecoin, right here, it says, what is this? The all-time high, right? So this is the highest this coin has been. This is what the market has agreed to pay for this coin
Right.
at one point in time,
Mm-hmm.
$237. And then also what's important too is to also look at when that all-time high occurred. So 4
4
years
years
ago,
ago.
April
hmm
1st, 2021. What happened in April 1st?
The price went up to 237.24. Bull
No, but
run.
what else?
It
But
was a bull
what happened?
run.
But
Bull
that was
run.
the top of the bull run, right? Because
Right.
remember, Bitcoin peaked out in April, right?
Right.
So this was
hmm
the high. So this that means this ran with Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin runs, this will run as
hmm
well. So that just
Oh,
kind of give you an
gotcha.
idea, right?
hmm
So let's look at our investment, and this is how we say, is this a good investment for me, right? So if
Right.
I have $1,000 and I want to buy a Filecoin that's currently at $3.49, so that's 1,000 divided by 3.49, right? That gives you 286. You can look at it as coins, shares, however you want to look at it. But you have 286 shares or coins of Filecoin. Does that make
Right.
sense? All
That
right.
makes sense.
And then we want to say, okay, so what's the potential? Not what it could be, what the market has already agreed. So I'm gonna times that times the previous all-time high of 237,
Right.
right? So
Wow.
what you're looking at is a 67x of your money, just getting back up
hmm
to the all-time high, right?
Right.
So if you can take $1,000 and turn it into 67,000, does that make sense for your portfolio?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
That's my
And
house money
it,
towards my house money.
so I say, let's say if we only get halfway back, so you divide that by two. So if I could
hmm
take $1,000 and turn it into 33,000, does that make sense for my portfolio?
Yes, it does.
Okay, because that's what we do. So when remember when I told you about taking profits, right?
Right.
So if I go to let me go to Filecoin. See where's my Filecoin. Now I just want to give you the mindset that we do and having a plan.
Right.
Where's Filecoin? Okay, Filecoin right here.
hmm
Go to go to the month chart, right? So you see I already got mine marked up, right? But if I'm buying here, where
hmm
are your take profit points, right? I say right here at the 25%, 50%. So I say
50%.
if we're 50% right and it gets up to 33,000, I mean it gets halfway back up to the all-time high. Does that make sense? All right.
Yes.
So
hmm
how I get where I'm going to be taking my profit, you take your fib from the
hmm
high to the low, and,
Right.
and where does 50% hit?
Right. That's at 120.
So at $120, you should be taking half of your position off the table at that point,
hmm
right?
Okay.
And then 618, if you want to take another 25% off,
Right.
you take that off, and then the rest you let ride to see up to the all-time high and to see into price discovery. What would it be above the previous all-time high, right? But you've already taken profit two times, right?
Right. hmm
So that's what we do. So that's kind of my scenario. That's what I do when it comes to evaluating coins, building portfolios, and really just understanding, the timing of where we at and what we're doing right now. That's the play.
That's truly amazing. I really want to really, really, truly venture out into this. And I am going to, as I told you